I do. So I lived in London for a few years. My kid was born here. And then about a year ago, we moved back to the States, and a few months ago, we bought a house here in Lancaster. Took a bunch of stuff out of a storage unit where it had been for close to about 4 years. And that's when my son found out that I have a duck collection. I don't collect ducks. I want to be clear about that. But I do have a duck collection. Let me explain. This probably started back when I was in high school. A friend or someone would come up to me and say, "I hear you collect ducks." And before I could say no, they'd give me one. And I didn't want to get rid of it. It was from a friend. It was a gift. And so over time, I had a duck collection. I bought one duck, one time. I was maybe 15 years old. I was working as a cashier in a supermarket just outside of Philadelphia. And the supermarket was moving to the other side of the shopping center. It had a one-day, get everything the hell out of this store. Everything will be 50% off. The line around the store went for an hour to get just in. It was not a great day to work. But one of my best friends and I went in there and were like, you know what, there's cheap shit. Let's go. Let's see what there is. And we were just buying stuff. We bought fabric dye. We bought crackers. We bought, we bought like shoe inserts, because why not? And then suddenly we're walking around, and I think we might have been in the floral section, and we see this plain cardboard box, and written on it is just the words, "wood duck." And I looked at this, and I opened up the box, and sure enough, there was a wood duck in there. And I'm thinking, well, this is kind of interesting. It's very pretty. I guess I could use it sort of as a bookend. I don't know, is there any reason I should want it? And my best friend, who is always a very positive influence on me, turned to me and said, "Why are you wasting your time thinking about this? It's on sale." And so I bought the wood duck. About a year later, there was a party at my parents' house, like 20 high school kids in a basement, that sort of thing. And you know how sometimes you're in a large social gathering and there are about 4 or 5 or 6 conversations in a room and all of them fall silent at the same time, except for one? And so 20 pairs of eyes turned to me just as I was saying to somebody, "And so I bought the wood duck." In hindsight, that probably has a lot to do with why I started getting a duck collection, even though I don't collect ducks. But this continued in college. People would give me a rubber duck to put on top of my computer. I had an ex-girlfriend who came back from a trip and she brought me 4 little ceramic ducks. She told me I could put them in a row. And my grandparents would give me a Beanie Baby. And so over time, I just never wanted to get rid of them because people were trying to be so nice. And so I kept them, and as I moved from city into different countries, they would just end up in boxes. They'd end up coming with me. They'd end up sitting, collecting dust on bookshelves until it was time to move again, until they all went into a storage unit. Not too far from here, about 4 years ago, when we moved out of the country overseas. And that's where they stayed until just a couple months ago when we moved into our house. And now my 4-year-old has a duck collection. Although it's too soon to say whether or not he's going to collect ducks.